I'm gonna kick it off. You ready? Alright, here we go. So this is episode 1 of the Traveler's Digest, Conversations from the Galactic Void. And with me today is Boondock on PlayStation. Hey Boondock, I need you to check your audio share settings for me, man. I'm getting some news that they can't hear you on my side, so I need to make sure you're set up to share party chat. Alright, so give us a little intro now. So you let us know when we have no audio that you've been playing back since the old NES days. But what I want to know is, what is it about No Man's Sky that got you so excited that you wanted to broadcast your gaming?
Oh, okay. So I've wanted to broadcast my gameplay for going on, I'm going to say probably about 5 years. That's how long I've been watching streamers, gaming particularly. And I knew it was something I wanted to do, but I never had the means to do it. I never had, hardly ever had internet. It's never had a computer to do any editing, nothing like that. And I recently was able to get the means to do that, and it's funny how it happened, because I was in the process of already figuring out that I wanted to stream No Man's Sky in some way, but I didn't know what. And I also wanted to do different games too. But almost immediately as I made that decision, I found out about the hub, which immediately, it's like the light bulb went off, and that pretty much kicked off the streaming there. Before I started doing this, I had just a couple random, couple Madden videos and some Dishonored gameplay, but nothing really, nothing I really wanted to get into as much as No Man's Sky. It's kind of, No Man's Sky has been kind of an obsession of mine ever since it released.
So have you played other sci-fi games, or is No Man's Sky like the one that brought you to sci-fi, or?
I played now, so I've been into sci-fi games, but in terms of space-related sci-fi, unfortunately, the only thing I've ever really been able to get into was Destiny, and Destiny's pretty much the reason why I bought my PlayStation in the first place. Now, the thing about it is that I've been a console gamer forever. Like I said, I've been on PS4, so it seems the market for space sci-fi games is kind of limited on consoles. So I've never really been able to dive deep enough, as much as I would like, Okay. So that's...
Well, there's definitely...
PC game, and it's loaded. I mean, it's a flooded market in that department. You got Star Citizen, you got Elite Dangerous, you got all this, but...
Yeah, I am kind of envious of the PC gamers for No Man's Sky, because they get all the amazing mods that are being put out right now.
Oh my God.
I've actually considered buying it on Steam just to have access to the mods.
I didn't think about that until just like a week ago, but I'm actually considering doing that too, especially after looking at the Mina with all those screenshots, those structures. Yeah. My God, man,
with
that's unbelievable.
And megaliths, yeah, it looks really great. So that's been pretty
beautiful.
Exciting. I mean, as far as sci-fi, on PS4 goes, pretty much I'm at just Galaga and Lovers in the Dangerous Space-Time, which is a cool little indie game, side-scroller.
Galaga.
Yeah, Galaga. Yeah, you know it. Absolutely,
I was just talking about Galaga earlier.
Yeah, coin op. So it got that, and then I saw Star Trek was on there for free, but I don't know anything about it.
Oh, yeah. So I don't know anything about it either, but it's worth a gander.
Yeah. But anyway, let's get back to No Man's Sky now. So, let's hear about, how did you get into the whole concept of the Galactic Hub? Did you stumble on it on Reddit? Were you just looking for something to do in game?
I ended up finding out about it on YouTube. This guy, I don't know if you heard of him. His name is Just Jared. He primarily, he mostly, most of the time he streams No Man's Sky. Lately he's been covering a lot of indie games, but he had a Galactic Hub video, which was basically just him. Oh, what's up, little guy? He got this cool little antler puppy running around. So he had this video that came out basically explaining what the Galactic Hub was and what this movement, where it was headed, and just the general idea and the goal of it all. I watched about 3 minutes of that video and almost immediately made my decision of what I wanted to do. So, like I said, it was right around the same time that I knew I wanted to stream anyway, and it just so happened to just fall on my lap right at that point. So I just ran with it.
So, for anyone who's not familiar with the hub, can you explain the goal?
Yes.
What
All right.
what are the hubsters trying to accomplish here?
So there's this location. Basically, okay. So the black hole ellipsis in the galaxy. There's along this radius. Anytime you go through a black hole, it's going to spit you out randomly along there. And what they did is they set up this this kind of hub along that radius to kind of designate the hub in hopes to fully explore the area. A better way to kind of get people to communicate with communications terminals, and hopefully, if they incorporate multiplayer in the near future, everybody will have a head start already, because it's the population is just growing by the day.
Even if you could just leave behind some bases for people to see.
Yeah. I mean, wouldn't that be nice if you could just hop on a planet and just check out everybody's different bases and stuff?
So right now, people are actually dropping communication balls for each other on the hub planets?
Yeah. Yes, they are. Everybody's setting up communications terminals just to kind of, they're throwing them up and then they're posting it on Reddit for, people to find, and it's just kind of a fun thing to get everybody together and kind of feel connected,
Okay.
And other than that, it's just all exploring. The idea is to fully explore every system and all the planets on that system, not jumping into planet to planet, just naming systems without looking at anything. We want to fully explore the universe, and the Galactic Hub is the start of that. So
it's going to start there and then radiate out from there, is the
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So I would say almost the entire hub at this point is pretty much explored, but on Reddit they've already put out because it started happening pretty quick once people caught word of it, so they put out on Reddit what the next system should be, and they ended up deciding what region to move on to. I forget what the name of it is though, but I think it's just going to expand in every direction at this point.
So when you say region,
like
are you talking about like they picked a quadrant of the galaxy map on the Pilgram Star app, or?
Right. Well, no. Basically, so they're when you go into the galactic map, so all the star clusters are set into regions, and all the regions have different names.
Okay.
And once you go, so if you go into the galactic hub from your galactic map, from where when you're at the hub, and you look outwards, any star system on the outer edges of that is just, that's the direction I think we're going. I think they were gonna try to stick on one region for the time being. I might be wrong. They were gonna stick to this one region that they set up, but I think everybody's kind of taken it upon themselves to kind of branch out anyway.
What's the name of the region that they're in right now?
They are in the all right. So it's called, for short, it's the Rento. It has a much longer, much more difficult name.
But people can get information on that on the Reddit. For the
yes,
Galactic Hub, right?
yeah. If you go No Man's Sky Galactic Hub on the subreddit, right, the first 2 posts are explaining everything you need to know, everything when it comes down to there's name guidelines, how they want you to name the systems, how they want you to tag them, just to kind of know that each system that's discovered is part of this whole project.
Okay.
But that explains, they'll explain everything on there. The people on there are really good. They're really informative, and the guys that set it up are just they're the best.
I was
They're
really
amazing.
impressed with the Pilgram Star app.
Isn't that like
It's so, and I went and I bookmarked it while I was watching your videos, so that as you were picking points and putting up beacons, I was actually going to Pilgram Star and plotting out where you were. And
were you really?
It was great. It was a great app. So,
wow,
that was a lot of fun.
Well, okay, so I know what to do in my free time now.
Oh man,
that's nice. So you can kind of you can see just kind of the whole path I've taken, huh?
Yeah. So I plotted
Amazing.
each one, and you jumped all over the place. You were quadrant to quadrant. It was hilarious. So let's get into that, because I want people to understand. Like, there's some good entertainment and some educational value to the video you made. Like, if anybody's thinking about making the journey to the hub that hasn't, you definitely showed people how to do it, and in the beginning how not to do it, which made the videos good. Like, it actually had some emotion to it, which was nice.
I figured it's the kind of slight unpreparedness about it all would make for some good watching, so I figured, why not? We live and we learn, and if anything, it gives you guys something to watch.
Yeah. So when you first started, you were what, like 670? I think it was 672 jumps away.
672, yeah. Yeah,
which I think, according to the Pilgram Star app, is something like 268,000 light years away. So like when you started that, we've all played No Man's Sky at this point. We know how long it takes to get from planet to planet, how long it takes to jump. Did you have any concept of how far away from the hub you actually were?
I had no idea. Now, before all of this happened, before the Pilgram Star map and all of that, we kind of just played No Man's Sky most of the time aimlessly, just hopping around, not really paying attention to the direction we were going or how far we were going or anything like that. But when I first started off, and I saw how far away I was, and then how little of a distance I ended up jumping the first few jumps, at that point it was like, all right, so this is going to take an eternity. You never really fully grasp just how big this universe is until you can see it in that perspective. It's amazing.
Right. And you set off with very few upgrades to your hyperdrive, correct?
Yeah, I did because I had no idea. I was so pumped to get into this that I just started right off of the bat. And once I made those first 2 jumps, and then I realized, like, I didn't even move one jump closer. I think I ended up going like 200 light years away from where I started. So,
which in the Pilgram Star app isn't even a single jump, because it calculates it by a maxed out hyperdrive, correct?
Exactly.
Okay.
So I went 2 videos doing that, 2 videos, until I finally realized, I'm not gonna give myself the credit, because it was pointed out to me that I was not using my hyperdrive to the full potential. Right. So immediately, facepalm. Obviously, I'm going to need to upgrade this thing. So I took care of it, and now I was able to make good progress, almost like a jump and a half each jump I make now. So I plan on wrapping this up. Well, at least getting to the hub in the next video or so. Okay, so
you're not quite to the hub yet, but when I saw you were well on your way. You were just a few jumps away.
Yeah, I'm right around the corner now. I can almost smell it.
You're in explored planetary region already, right? The systems you're seeing have already been found by hub travelers, or?
Yeah, I did. I scanned, I don't know if I put it in the last video or not, but I ended up scanning from where I am right now, In fact, I mean, I can probably do it in this video, but there are things popping up around me that are explored. None of them have hub tags or anything like that, but I can only assume it's people that have been making the trip there.
Okay. All right. So then, one thing I noticed when I was watching the videos is you were down trying to get resources because early on you were burning through resources without the upgraded hyperdrive, and and it seemed like every creature that you came across was incredibly vicious. Like it just seemed like you were getting hit on the head left and right. Is that common occurrence for you?
Okay, so it has been lately. I don't know what the deal is. I don't know if Hello Games has something against me, if just the game in general has something against me. But almost every planet, except for this one, I'm able to walk around here without anything getting me. But almost every planet I land on that has some sort of animal life on it, it seems like it overly vicious, and then 90% of the creatures on the planet want to kill me, whereas the rest are just getting killed by the rest of them.
I wonder if that has anything to do with the hub, or if that's just bad luck. Because I mean, most of the planets I land on, I got maybe 1 or 2 nasty creatures on them. Maybe some planets I don't find any. I guess I've been lucky, but I mean, on the one planet that I've declared my home and explored, the nasty creatures only come out at dusk and dawn. They're predatory creatures, and they literally only spawn during dusk and dawn. It's the only time you'll see them.
Wow, really?
Yeah, so I thought that was an interesting part of the engine, but then I see you landing, and I mean, it's just mayhem all the time.
Just getting attacked as soon as I hop out of the ship.
Yeah, I mean, you get out of the ship, and it's you've already gotten aggro from something, so I found that amusing.
I
apologize, I was laughing at it, but that's what it was.
I actually had to move from the planet I ended the last video on to come here because there's these raptors. Now they're in the last video, but there's these weird, like, I don't know, seem like bug-faced raptors running around everywhere. They're everywhere. It's like there's no place you can get away from them, and they're the fastest running things I've ever seen in the game. And they're relentless. Like, they will chase me down. I'll do the jetpack trick, and I'll stop thinking that I'm going to save distance. I'll turn around, and the thing's right on my tail. Just never giving up.
That sucks. I'm sorry. It just really... I'm sorry that you had to deal with that. But for anyone who's going to watch your videos, it's awesome.
It makes for some good watching, but aggravating on my end.
Right. So once you realized that you couldn't jump straight there because of the hyperdrive issues and just the distance, you started going with black holes. And so let me just, if anybody's not familiar with black holes, because we might get some new people to the Amino that haven't played very much. When you're using the Pilgram Star app, you can see where you are in relation to the center. And it sort of shows you a ring of where you're going to jump out inside of if you go through a black hole. It's called the ellipse. And you get everything in 2 dimensions, and then you jump through the black hole, and what the black hole actually does is it puts you a little bit closer to the center, but in potentially a different quadrant of the galaxy. So if you're down in the bottom right corner, you might pop out in the top left corner, which... the hub, I think, is in the bottom left corner. So it's pretty much random, right? Like you go in and you come out in a random spot, and hopefully
you
it's
just
the
don't.
spot you want.
You have no idea. You could do it 10 times. You could be lucky and do it in 5 tries. You could be one of those that do 80 jumps through black holes until they finally get a distance that they're happy with.
Wow. And so you were jumping through the black holes, and it was like, you know, I think the first jump you made, you came out farther away, like
way farther, like 200 extra jumps away. I ended up just over 800 jumps away, and then I jumped a few more times, got a little bit closer, got even farther, got closer again, farther. It was black hole roulette, and I was not winning.
So when that happened, like when that first happened, did you know about the randomness of black holes going into it, or? Like,
I
was that a
did,
surprise?
Well, I knew that it might take a while. I was reading through a lot of people's comments on Reddit, and people were getting lucky, like I said, and then there was those people that were just jumping for days and days and days until they finally got close enough. So I knew it might be a process. I didn't know it was going to be as aggravating as it was. I thought I kind of had more hopes that it would only take me about 10 tries to do. It took me a lot longer, though.
So, now I saw a lot of people, they started doing, like, they would save their game right before they jump through the black hole, and then they come out at a random spot, and if they didn't like it, then they would just restore their save. Did you do that, or did you just kind of go with it?
I did that. I figured out about that by episode 2, and so by that point, obviously, I was having all the trouble in the world with them. I mean, you can see it in the video. It wasn't easy, but I ended up seeing on Reddit with the whole save thing. Now, I tried it about 3 or 4 times until I ended up screwing up because I ended up losing my last save at the bottom. So what happens when you save is that you hit the start menu. So I'll just show it on my screen. And then you have 3 saved games. Now, the idea is if you jump through a black hole, you go to that space station located in that system, save your game, get back in your ship, go through the black hole, and land on the first planet you see, check your coordinates, and whether or not, if you're not happy with it, just go back, pay attention to what the timestamp on the save and the date and everything, just reload it, and then try again. Now, what I didn't know is that every time you do that, your saves will move down 1. So the top save will go down to the 2nd slot, next time it will go down to the 3rd, and by the 4th time, I ended up losing my save. At that point, I gave up, but it almost immediately I ended up hopping through a black hole that put me in a perfect range, so I didn't even have to do it anymore.
Nice. Well, I just got a message from Dark Quasar here, and he's saying that, and I didn't know this, I thought that black holes just constantly took you slightly closer to the center, but he's saying after a certain point, once you get past that point, a black hole will actually launch you across the galaxy farther away. Now, what I don't know is if that only happens once, or if from that point on you continue to go farther. Can you verify that, Dark Quasar? And I'll let everyone know when I get an answer, but that's interesting to me that it'll actually put you past the center and further away. That's
see, and a lot of people, I saw that a lot of people were actually having trouble on Reddit with if they were located like kind of midway to the center and they were on the other side in relation to the hub, that they were having a hard time getting past that point and moving to the other side. So I don't know how that works exactly.
I'm just writing out a message here real quick to Alright, so let me get back here. So let me see. So one of the things that you were not happy with, I guess, when you switch from normal to survival, is the lack of plutonium. How you feeling about that? You still hurting over plutonium?
Listen, the fact that you have to refill your launch thrusters, that's the most aggravating part. It's so if anyone remembers, before this whole Foundation update, there wasn't a place you could find on the planet that didn't have some plutonium on it. It was the planets were loaded, and now it's absolutely nowhere to be found. You have to hike for it. I mean, it's still, it's easy to find. It's relatively easy to find, but not nearly as easy as it used to be. So having to just use it for your launch thrusters, like I can understand like any like recharging anything else you got, but landing thrusters is what uses the majority of your plutonium. So it's annoying. Hopefully they've caught word of that, and maybe they might kind of
no. I'm gonna have to disagree with you there, man. I have to disagree.
Oh, you like the challenge?
I like the challenge of the lack of plutonium. I mean, at first it was terrifying, but yeah, I'm digging it now. It's a lot more grinding. I'll agree with that, but I kind of have a method now. So what I'll do is I'll hit a planet and I'll stay in my ship until I find a place where I can land for free, and I'll land for free. And I'll scout that in a circle for plutonium. Then I'll get back on my ship. But before I get in my ship, I put my scanner on that building, and then that'll white dot it. And then I don't know if it's a bug or if it's intentional, but then you'll get basically the white dot discovery for all those building types. And so, if it's something that has a beacon that you can land at, like an observatory or what's another one that has a beacon? A refining facility, like all those ones like that. You'll start to get little white dots on your map that'll show you where those are, and then I just fly to the next one, land for free, scout the plutonium, fly to the next one, land for free, scout the plutonium. And you can build up 1,000 stack of plutonium real quick, and then you can do the rest of the planet because you have that 1,000 stack of plutonium waiting for you.
That's quite a little system you got there.
So, Dark Quasar's with you. He says it should only use 50% to launch instead of the full 100%.
Exactly. Well,
yeah, I don't know. I guess it's because I've gotten used to adapting. I'm gonna have to.
If you're already used to it, if you're used to it and you've already got your little system already, then I mean it's not as hard. I mean
yeah.
I don't know. I'm a complainer. So man, I'm just gonna deal with it. Keep the plutonium that's there now. It's fine.
So all right. I'm gonna get back to your journey because now I've sidetracked the conversation. But so episode one was depressing because you got beat up and you hit a bunch of jumps that took you farther. But then
I ended it sweaty and bloodied.
But then in episode 1.5, interesting naming convention, I saw you got to like 192, and that was good. I mean, that's better than where you started out.
That was promising. It was. Yeah,
that was good.
It was definitely a motivator.
And then you jumped up to like 805.
That's the complete opposite. The complete opposite of what I wanted to happen. Like, to go from 192 jumps and be like, oh, okay, so I'm going to be almost here. But you know what? I'm not going to make the distance from this, make the trip from this distance, so I'll jump one more time. When I ever looked at my coordinates and saw 800 jumps, oh my God. I could have lost it.
It was pretty.
It did all work out. It worked out beautifully in the end, but it didn't. But not without a hassle.
Right. So
they made me have to earn it.
So after a while, I mean, I don't know how many jumps you made because I don't know how much you edited out of your videos. But like after a while, you were like, okay, all right. So I made the jump. I gotta put down the signal scanner. Like you were starting to seem like you were actually getting stressed out by it. Like yeah, like oh, okay. Like were you going to bed anxious after you played? Like I'm never gonna get there.
At that point, it was close to 2 a.m. I just wanted to get at a reasonable distance. I was like, I don't want to record 5 videos and still be at 200 jumps by the end of it. So I started to get a little aggravated, I'm not going to lie. But I probably jumped, I don't know, I would say close to 40 times maybe.
40 times.
So I did, yeah. So I edited out a good chunk of them.
Wow. And so then with those jumps, now every time you made one of those jumps, you were destroying tech on your ship, yeah?
Yes.
So.
Yes. And not even, by the end of it, there was almost a point where I didn't even care anymore. Like, I ended up destroying one of my techs, and then completely forgetting about it, going through another black hole, destroying another one. It's like, I don't even care. I just want to get there, and I want to start this journey, and I'll fix it when I get there. It's not a problem. It was just...
How many times did you trash your
I almost
hyperdrive?
forgot how hard this was. How did I trash it?
Yeah, how many times did your hyperdrive break?
Never.
Really?
Never. I didn't have to repair it once. That's what I was waiting to happen.
Awesome.
I was waiting for that to happen, but the only thing that I kept on losing, I lost, let's see. I started on, I'm getting chats through my ear as I'm talking here.
Okay.
So I lost my cannons, and what else did I end up losing? I think I ended up losing my shield, which was, yes, I did. I lost my shield, which was kind of nerve-wracking, and I knew I had to take care of that immediately. It wasn't too much to repair. The thing that works in my benefit is that I don't have many upgrades for a lot of that stuff, so it'll just break, and I'll be able to repair it in one shot, and not have to go through the process of gathering endless amounts of supplies to have to repair. You know?
Oh, yeah, that's true. It's just, oh my gosh, the resource gathering for 40 jumps must have been miserable. I mean, it just seems like an endless grind.
It absolutely was. And I'd repair your shield. Thank you. I appreciate that. I don't even know who that was from. But throwing me off now.
Because you have the text to voice.
I do, yeah. I didn't know I had that set up, but evidently I do.
Yeah, I made a mistake of having that on some of my early videos, and someone came on and just started throwing racial slurs at me the whole time.
That's nice.
It actually broadcasts on your video, so.
Does it? Oh, yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Super user tip. Turn that off.
Keep it PG. Keep it PG, please. I'm the last one who should be talking about keeping it PG. Have you seen my videos?
I do appreciate that you're keeping the language PG for me here, because we have some young users on the Amino. I should probably warn them. I'm going to provide links to the videos in the notes for this show. If you are a young Amino user, there's going to be some cursing.
Viewer discretion is advised.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to censor myself. I knew I had to for here, because I was like, listen, I don't want to hop on this guy's video and just assume that I can just, just be a trash mouth the whole time. So
I definitely want something that my oldest son can watch. So let's
There we go. Yeah. There we go. See, now your kids are involved. I get it. Now my nerves are starting to go a little bit.
So
make sure I stay on track.
So episode 2 was interesting for me. You did something there that to me adds to the meta of the game, and sort of adds to the concept of the hub, and that's you threw down a challenge for people that were watching the video, and I'm not going to give it away because I want them to go watch the video and see what that challenge is. But the reward was...
Oh, God, now you're starting something.
The reward was a $50 gift card. Has anybody collected that yet?
No one. Not one person. Now, somebody mentioned to me in the Reddit that they were reasonably close to where I was at the time. So they said they might collect. They never did, and no one has... Whoa, falling through caves. No one has yet. So I'm
All
still
right.
waiting for it. I will honor that. And it's not, I forget to mention that it was I think I forgot to mention that it was the first person, not every person to find it.
No,
The first person.
I think you said the first person to give you a screenshot
Okay.
of that communication ball. would,
Okay, good.
Oh, I just gave it away. Dang it. Oh, I'm sorry.
It's still gonna watch it. You're still gonna have to watch it because you don't even know
still
where
gotta watch
it is.
it
So
because you
don't
gotta
watch
get the
that video.
coordinates. You gotta plug it into Pilgram Star. You gotta find where he was, which I don't even. I don't even think you were close at that time. So it's like some random spot in the galaxy.
Not even close.
So
yeah.
yeah. So you're like creating your own hub for a $50 gift card.
Exactly.
Hey, that's, you know what that is? That's a No Man's Sky copy off Steam. That's what that is.
Exactly.
So maybe
I'm saying,
you up on that.
whatever gift card you want, just it's yours. Make the distance, make the grind. $50 is worth it in my eyes, I think. And I just want to see if someone can find it. I just want to see if someone will actually take the time and find it. That would be impressive to me. So I really want to encourage that.
Nice. So once you got into the grind of the jumps, like how many of those systems did you just hit the station, jump out of, versus how many did you actually stop and explore? Did you explore in the middle, or did you slow down as you got closer?
Now, what I was trying to do is once I hopped into a system, I would make my first few jumps just to see how far I would get, and then I would stop at probably the third jump, second or third jump, and just figure out where I was at the time. And if that planet happened to be just loaded with life, with which the one of them in the last video was, then I would stick around for a little bit and explore, see what it had to offer. But the hub project has kicked off. It's in full steam now, so everything is we're running out of stuff to explore right now. It's still going to be cool to check everything out, but I just wanted to make the trip as fast as I could and get as far as I could within a reasonable time frame. So,
Gotcha.
what my process is now is I'll do 3 or 4 jumps, and wherever I land, I'll try to make the last jump to a system that's probably within the 5 planet range, 4 or 5 planets, just so I have stuff to work with, and
Okay.
I'll just pick the 2 best looking planets and see what they have to offer, and then I end it right there.
All right. So, you came across some really highly sought after creatures in the later episodes there, and a lot of the stuff you found was really just nice, beautiful,
Gorgeous.
really pretty stuff. So
I got
it's
lucky,
definitely worth checking out.
that's why I say they made the journey worth it. Like I was put through some BS, but it was worth it with everything I've been able to experience so far. It was well worth the trip, that's for sure.
And I'm gonna go ahead in the show notes. I'm gonna put links after this stream has saved to an episode on my channel. I'm gonna put links to all of your videos so that people can go in there and just watch some of this. And I'll try to pick some
send them over,
highlights
man.
and put some timestamps on there too, because there's really just some great stuff there.
I appreciate
one
that,
of my
man.
favorite.
I appreciate that.
One of my favorite. I like the big creatures, and one of my favorites was an 8-meter tall crab that you came across. A crab-like creature.
Man,
The thing was bigger than your ship. Do you see those things at night when you go to sleep, when you close your eyes? Because it was pretty horrible for anybody that has trouble with 8-legged creatures.
Anybody with arachnophobia, these things are right out of your nightmares. So these things, they were actually mean. At first I thought they were relatively nice, but I ended up almost dying by one of them. Now the funny thing about that is, if the video that those were featured in, there's a point in the very beginning where I'm kind of walking out of this tree line, and right to the right side of the screen. There's actually one right at the tree line, but it almost looks like a tree, so I completely missed it. But
So you saw it when you went back and watched it?
Exactly, yeah. So I saw this one, I was like, how did I even miss that? But these things, I mean, once my kind of the encounter that is sticking with me is when I set up that signal booster. I forget what it was. I think I just had to, like, mine for iron or something, and I think he might have been in the way when I did it. But I had my signal booster set up, and I got hit with something big because it almost took away half of my health at that point. I look up, and I see this thing just towering over me with some kind of beef. And this crab ended up taking care of him. He got me awful, and then I ended up shooting him after like the third bullet that hit him. It seems like I must have been 30 feet away from him, and he was able to like leap that distance to hit me with one more shot before I killed him. Terrifying, absolutely terrifying.
So I had to ask about that because that was one of my favorite moments, actually.
Stuck with you?
Yeah. So the other thing that I noticed is you, like me, at least in your videos, you say "wow" a lot, and I have a lot of moments where I'm just playing the game, and then there's just something that comes along, and it might even be some like assets that I've seen before, but they're arranged in such a way, and they happen at such a time that I just go, "Wow." And so, are you still experiencing that when you play now, even after you've traveled that whole distance?
Even to this day, even like now, I haven't put down No Man's Sky ever since it came out. There was like a good maybe month where I didn't give it a lot of my time, but when this came out, I didn't feed into any of the negativity about it whatsoever. I thought it was an amazing concept for a game. It was a chance to kind of live my childhood dream, being able to travel the stars and see what the universe has to offer, So the fact that this game has the ability to basically create an endless possibility of creatures, plant life, like whatever. I mean, to this day, I'm still seeing things that I never thought I would be able to see. Animals, combinations of animals that are just beautiful, gorgeous, weird, terrifying. And I still to this day have a hard time not being taken back by some of the stuff I see. I mean, this game is amazing. I can't stress it enough.
I'm really awestruck by what the engine's potential is. I'm really looking forward to having them add more assets to
it's groundbreaking.
To the generator,
it's groundbreaking.
Yeah, I mean, I have to agree with some of the people that are on Reddit, not so much on Amino, but on Reddit and online that say, it's the same assets over and over again, they're just arranged differently. But when you think about the number of permutations that they get out of the limited number of assets that they've added, and then you think about that it's a framework for adding more assets.
Yep.
And then just
there's just never
them
ending possibilities.
The universe. Yeah, I mean, they could literally expand it threefold with maybe 20, 30 hours worth of work.
Oh, absolutely.
You just have to build the skeletons, build the assets, make sure that they snap together correctly, and then unleash it. And so that, for me, is very interesting. But even still, I've been playing a while now. Granted, I hang out in the same 3 solar systems all the time for whatever reason. I just can't seem to. I have everything mapped at this point, marked. I have like a journal where I've handwritten out all of my landmarks away from my base, so I can travel in photo mode.
Really?
Yeah, like I actually drew a map and I based it on time walking, so that I know I can get to. If I head in this direction, I'll hit this particular landmark, and if I head in this direction, I'll hit that landmark, and that way I can just run around in photo mode.
That's an awesome idea.
I'd rather run in photo mode than to have all the little icons everywhere.
being able to just take the game in the way it was supposed to be taken care of.
Yeah, like
That's just like the what's his name, Survivor Guru.
Survival Guru.
He's doing that series. That alone is an awesome concept, and I've actually considered just playing the game completely in photo mode. However, I'm a space cadet. So I never really pay. I'll get too involved with what I'm doing, and you'll see it, and I won't be paying attention to how much life support I have left. She's screaming at me, telling me to recharge, and I'm not listening to her. I'm just going on with what I'm doing. It's so that kind of.
Yeah, you really have to become cognizant. Like, the only thing that's going to help you out is is her voice telling you when your shielding has died and you're on hazard protection. Yeah. And then when your hazard protection starts to go, like, you'll start to notice the different glazings on your helmet. So
whether it gets frosty or if it starts to get hot, you'll notice the haze. So
if you're not paying attention to those, you're toast. In photo
yeah, exactly, and a lot of times I'll just drown it out. Her especially, like, because she'll be nonstop. I feel like, wasn't there originally a way to shut her off?
No, what it was is she actually nagged even more frequently on launch, and they reduced the amount of time she would nag you.
At least they gave us that.
So it's actually better now than it was in the beginning. Before, it was every time anything remotely
happened.
Yeah, it was like, you broke.
Whether it's your multi-tool, your suit. Oh man, I'm waiting for that notification.
Yeah. So that was interesting. So the other thing that I noticed is in part 4, you were talking about base building. So I want to do a little talk about base building. What was interesting to me about part 4 is how you'd evolved from where you were in part 1. In part 1, you had made notice that you were leaving the base, you were going off, and you didn't know if you.
And I was going to be back.
Yeah, you said I'm going to be back, and I'm not moving my base because it's such a hassle. And
I spent a long time on that base.
Yeah, and then in 4, you said, "Gee, I really hope HG will update the game to allow you to build a base at any location." So. So what is it? Do you want to move your base, or are you gonna kill that entire journey and go back?
I have made my decision. I am going to make a new base. I'm going to start from scratch. I'm going to grab a new ship. I'm going to shop around because on Reddit. Another thing they do is they'll be posting screenshots of the starships that each system has to offer, and I'm just seeing some unbelievable ones. And I figured if once I get to the hub, what is there to do there? So you're going to explore, you're going to see a lot of stuff that people have already explored, maybe do some discovering on your own, but what else is there to do? And I figured, might as well just start new, new location, set myself up in the same location of all these other people. I fell in love with the project, so it didn't take long, and once I started to build steam a little bit and ended up getting as close as I was, I think the excitement is what made me make my final decision. I was like, all right, I'm doing it. Whole new base, whole new ship, whole new year. Let's do it.
It's on.
Maybe I'll get a new multi-tool too.
So then here's the last question about that. Did you remember to name your system before you left?
My home planet system?
Yeah.
I did.
Your home base.
I did. Wait, no, I did not. Correction, I did not name my home base.
And
I named the system.
Do you have a recording anywhere that has coordinates for that planet and that system?
No. Oh, I do, yeah, because when I start my galactic hub kickoff, I have kind of a kickoff episode just explaining what it is, and then doing a few jumps, but not making any progress whatsoever. But
so you could always
at the beginning of the video.
So there you go. So
exactly.
All right, there you go. So you
yeah,
could
it's right
actually...
at the beginning of the video, so I can check it out. I can go home and just... But yeah, but doesn't your base is... Once you start a new one, I'm pretty sure your base is just completely destroyed.
Yeah,
and
it
gone.
just reverts to a previous unoccupied base.
Which is unfortunate, because it would have been nice to go back and kind of reminisce a little.
Well, that's what I was saying earlier. It'd be nice if they just leave the base behind and then somebody else could find it already slightly built. Like, that would be... I mean, they'd miss out on some quests, but at the same time, how nice would it be to show up and there's a farming operation there already, you know? You could just jump in and make some loot and be done. But
no, I'm missing most is I had private security and everything. I managed to accidentally, when I built my little vault room, I accidentally encased one of the sentinels in there, so I constantly had a sentinel just patrolling my vaults and stuff. It's like,
That's
my little private security, there we go.
He was trapped inside the base?
He was trapped, he couldn't get out. He just kept on circling around my vaults, and then he would go up. I had a little meeting room out there. I have a base tour on my page too, but I had a little meeting room, and he would kind of circle around the meeting table in the middle and then go back into the hallway.
Nice. So then the other question is, what happens if they do add multiplayer, somebody watches that video and you come home and there's a squatter in your base?
Well, I'd like to think I'd be welcoming at that point, but I might feel a little violated, honestly. Because your base, I mean, that's my home. It's like I've set up the way. I spent hours and hours trying to set it up. I have, my NPCs in there doing their thing. They don't need to be interrupted. I don't need to come home and see someone in there. But you know what? The community, the No Man's Sky community, is a friendly one. So I guess I can be...
In the spirit of the community, squatters are welcome.
In the spirit, squatters are welcome, yeah. Listen, don't squat in my greenhouse.
Okay.
And don't squat in my vault room, but I mean anywhere else, I guess.
Alright. So, I guess I'm pretty much out of questions about your journey, so what I'd like to do is just ask some general questions now, and I'm going to warn everybody, we're getting into the realm of speculation and wish lists and all that nonsense. So we're not trying to build the hype bubble, but I am getting very excited about the next update, whatever it's going to be.
Man, and, you and me both, man.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm waiting for him to go and give his little speech, and then you can get that out of the way and get an update out. But where are you? Are you waiting anxiously? Are you
anxiously, extremely anxiously?
Yeah.
Now the first word I got that they were going to do a new update was, I don't know, probably it was a few weeks ago. Whenever the first person that ended up finding the models for the buggy in the files and everything, that's when I got news that there was an update taking place. And I've actually, honestly, I've been anxious from the day this update dropped. And once I was able to complete everything in this update, grab my base, set up everything, I was like, all right, I'm ready for the next one. Throw it at me. So I am extremely anxious for it to come out. I know it's right around the corner. It has to be like a matter of weeks. I mean, just from everything that's going on, all the signs are pointing to it. With the lecture Sean Murray's going to be holding. Sean, did I get that right?
Yeah, you got it. And
okay.
That's going to be, I think, on the 3rd. He's speaking the evening of the 3rd, yeah.
Yeah,
So
now it's a private lecture, and that's basically just to discuss the math of the game, but most likely they're going to probably have a new version of the game to show off while they're there. So, hopefully, there'll be some news that comes out of that. We'll see.
I'm really hoping. I don't know. I haven't even finished the base building quest, so I still have work to do there. I never made it to the center. Never even finished the Atlas quest, come to think of it. I really just spent...
don't even get me started on that.
Did you finish the Atlas path?
So, alright, so I found out really quick of what happens when you get to the center of the galaxy, which is very uneventful.
Yeah.
So immediately I turned my objective to the Atlas path. So one thing I did was I grabbed my first Atlas path, my first Atlas stone, and this was right probably shortly after I had my son. I was laying in bed playing. I ended up passing out the controller without pausing, died numerous times.
Oh, no.
I woke up at like 3 in the morning at some random place on the planet, went to my last grave site, and there was nothing there. Now, the reason being is because when you die the first time, your inventory is at that grave site. If you die a second time and don't go to that the previous grave site, you're screwed. You lost everything. So that's what happened. So here I am continuing my Atlas journey. I didn't know that. I thought it was just going to keep on giving them to me until I got to 10.
Right.
But I get to my 10th Atlas, and they say, your journey is complete. And I can't click the option because I only have 9 stones. So I'm sitting here like, what do you mean my journey's complete? Give me another stone, please.
Right.
But if you so happen to make a silly mistake like that, like I did, then you're pretty much SOL. There's no getting the 10th Atlas stone. There's no reset. Well, I mean, there is a reset, but I mean, that's about all you can do. So I was like, all right, so obviously my only task now is to get the biggest, baddest ship I can get.
So you're not going to go on through to Hibbert?
Through the what?
You're not gonna carry on through the center to the next galaxy? You're gonna just continue to play?
I think I'm gonna stay in the Euclid. I think I might stay in the Euclid. Well, you know what? I mean, I don't wanna say that prematurely, because that might change after this whole thing dies down. I might make that into maybe a new series, possibly, of getting to the center and getting to a new galaxy. As of right now, once I get to the hub, I'm going to stick around just for a little bit and make a little series of just building the base, getting a new ship. By that point, hopefully the update's going to be here, so there'll be plenty of other stuff to do, too.
Has anybody started a hub in the Hibbert galaxy? Is it the galaxy or dimension?
Not that I know of. I think it's galaxy. I think it's galaxy.
Yeah,
but I don't know if anyone has yet. I know a lot of people have been asking if they're in the Hilbert Galaxy or even further than that, if they're kind of, out of luck. And they are, but I don't know if they've kind of taken the initiative to kind of try to create one there, or if they're just going to, say screw it and make a whole new game and start from scratch, yeah.
So are you playing then in normal or survival on your game?
I am in normal mode, so I am not so yeah. So I'm not
something the rest of us kind of don't have.
Survival mode. I know that's another thing that I am going to do in the future, because it's intriguing to be able to play No Man's Sky with a real element of danger and the feeling that the need to survive.
Yeah.
And avoid stuff like that. See, I'm on the planet with all those raptor things, and wouldn't you know it?
Check that out after the broadcast. See, the thing is, man, in survival, it's done. You're dead. That body's gone. All that stuff you collected is gone.
Wait, hold on. You're giving me a whole bunch of new information. So as soon as you die in survival mode, that's it?
Yeah, that's it. There's no grave, man. There's no grave. You just regenerate, and you're back to square one. Your tech's broken, and you have no inventory.
I love that and hate it.
No way to recollect it. None of that. So this was interesting. So for No Man's Survival Guru's challenge, because he has that survival and photo mode challenge, I decided to go out and I was going to do a new game. I rolled a new game on a different PlayStation account, and I went into photo mode, found my ship, was 4 minutes away or 6 minutes away. It was like the perfect start for this. And I said, all right, I'm going to put it in photo mode, and I'm going to find my ship. And I started out, and I was doing good. I found all the resources. I was making pretty much a straight line to that ship. And right near the ship, I realized I didn't have iron and iridium, and I needed to build shielding shards, and survival was starting to bog me down. So I get in a cave and I start mining iron, and what I didn't pay attention to is I was too close to the mouth of the cave, and I set off a sentinel who came in and got hit by my very next shot. So then I had pissed off that sentinel
almost immediately
in survival mode with no shielding of any kind, no upgraded weapon. He called another one, that one called another one, and within like a few seconds I was inside a cave with 3 sentinels. And it was one of those ones you had to like jetpack down into, and then I would have had to jetpack out of, and so I died. Which means there's no grave for me to go collect all those resources. And because it was survival mode, I had picked every node on the way there, and none of those nodes respawn just because you die. And so I basically, I basically was back. My ship was closed. I had 0 resources. My tech was all broken, and I had gathered every single resource on the way to my ship and lost it.
You know, see, at that point, the PlayStation gets shut off.
Yeah.
Man.
So what I did is I went out, like, you know, I walked in a different direction, perpendicular to the ship, like so many feet, and then I made a straight line from there to where the ship was, approximately, and I found some resources, but I didn't find enough iridium to fix it. I didn't find enough to get it off the ground. So I would have had to go in the opposite direction, away from the ship, away from where my starting location was, in search of iridium, and then my chances of navigating back to that spot in photo mode were pretty much nothing. I mean, pretty much nothing. Yeah.
I don't see it's a whole nother monster, and it's very intriguing. I mean, it makes me want to jump into it, but it's also probably equally as terrifying.
Yeah,
just knowing that. I never knew that before. That once you die, you have to start from scratch. I didn't know that, and that's
you start from scratch.
Man,
but the world doesn't. The world is still the world, and only you start from scratch. So yeah, that was challenging. That was a mess. And then I did another one for his challenge, which I also didn't submit because I found my ship. It was 14 minutes away. I was going to walk there. I started walking there in photo mode. And like 40 minutes later, I still hadn't found my ship. So I popped out of photo mode, which breaks the rules, looked for the ship, and I was 30 minutes from the ship. I had walked in sort of like a triangle away from it. and past it. Yeah. So I was like 40 minutes from the starting point, but 30 minutes from the ship, which the starting point was 14 minutes. It was a mess.
Did you make your way there?
No, I never made it to the ship. No. I just gave up
don't feel bad.
After like an hour and 50 minutes, I was like, you know what, I gotta go to work. I'm done.
Yeah. It's time to be an adult.
Yeah. So that's my horrible No Man's Sky adventure to go with yours. And then let's see. So then we have the Amino. You just got in there. Are you liking the community? You enjoying that?
I am. Yeah. The creativity is through the roof in there. I mean, you guys, they have these competitions going on. All these photo competitions, stories, things like that. Just it's if you want to see just how people are kind of making No Man's Sky their own, like that's the place to go. You know, I couldn't believe it. I was just sitting as soon as you gave me word of that community. I must have scrolled for a good 45 minutes just checking out everything there was to check out, and it's just, you know, ideas that I would have never thought of. So yeah, I'm loving it so far.
I was just really impressed with that community. I can't say enough about the Amino community. They've been so kind to me. And everybody there's been super cool. I haven't been
super
flamed
friendly.
or downvoted or yelled at or anything like I was on the Reddit. But
were you on the Reddit?
Oh yeah, man. I've had a couple that, you know, you say something positive about Hello Games and it just brings out the worst in people.
Oh yeah, and they have to, of course, they hop on that bandwagon and just bash every move they made.
Not on the hub. The hub has been super chill, and No Man's High has been super chill. But the actual No Man's Sky of the game, it's actually, I was there. I gotta be honest. I'm gonna be honest. I was there today, and it was quite pleasant. There was a lot of really good comments going on, a positive vibe, and a lot of the trolls have given up and have moved on. I think they're all playing Horizon. Possibly.
Yeah. give them time to beat the game, and they'll be back. Right.
But it was a much better experience today. But in the past, I mean, that's what drove me to the Amino community. It was Survival Guru. I got into a conversation with him about playing in survival mode and figuring out different kinds of navigation. So like, he explained to me how to use the clouds to navigate, because one of the things that he did research on is that the clouds converge to 2 points on the planet, and they move out from those points also in the opposite direction. So you can actually use them as a consistent method of navigation.
Wow.
And then I figured out that you can actually use the sun's path because it is consistent. There is an equator, there are poles, and you can use that to determine your orientation. And you can actually use a real survival technique, which is the shadow stick method, to determine east-west, and then from there you can determine north and south. So you just gotta find an object.
I never thought of that.
Yeah, you just gotta find an object that casts a shadow, wait for the sun to come up, and just make a shadow stick. You mark the first point, you wait for the next point, and that's your east-west, and you're good to go.
Wow, no way.
Yeah, so that's
very
what I
nice
used to get to the poles.
Cool.
So if you ever get lost, that's a good way to find landmarks. Finally found some ships.
Well, Once I kind of get the cojones to jump into survival mode.
Yeah, it's fun. Oh, and the other thing is the stars move on the same path as the sun. So if you can find a constellation in the pattern that is the stars, it will be there the next night.
Oh, okay.
And it'll move along the exact same path. So you can use the stars at night if you don't have shadows.
See, look at this. I mean, the game's been out for this long. I've been playing it for this long, and this is stuff I absolutely had no idea about. I feel like a rookie.
I didn't know anything about the clouds, but they're actually a pretty solid navigation technique, because they are fixed over the globe.
I did notice that. Like, I ended up picking up on one of his videos that he was doing, and he was looking up into the sky. I could tell that he was looking for the direction that the clouds were going, and I kind of put two and two together what he was doing at the time, but wasn't really sure what if he was using a method to find the ship or not get lost. I didn't know what it was.
Yeah, no, it definitely works. I've used that in a pinch, that's for sure. And then the other thing, one thing that the engine makes difficult is navigating by landmarks, because landmarks don't always pop in, and sometimes they pop in at a
takes them a while to spawn.
Yeah,
takes them a while to spawn, and then they'll look different. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, I've noticed that too.
Things you can count on a pretty regular basis are sort of they're like monolithic rock structures. Those are pretty common, and you'll see them, like, some of them look like two stones crossed together and then embedded in the ground. Some of them are like a different type of rock, but they sort of hug the surface. And then there's the pillars and the arches.
So
And
those
all of
things are
those-
consistent.
All of those you can see at a pretty good distance, even on the PS4.
Right.
And navigate by those, and canyons you can use almost all the time if you're lucky enough to be on a planet with canyons. But mountains,
I haven't
mountains
found many.
tend to
I
change
haven't
the
found many.
profile. You haven't?
No,
I-
not many with
I find them
canyons,
all the
not at all.
time.
Now, this this planet that I'm on now, it's mountainous, and that's another thing that I really haven't found much of. I get hilly planets, but never anything I can really consider a mountain until I got here. And that's it. But I see these pictures of these planets that are loaded with canyons, and it's amazing. I'm jealous.
Yeah. So I'm putting you on the spot. Give a shout out to one of your favorite amino posts from the week.
Favorite amino posts. Let's see. Favorite amino posts. Okay, so I forget who exactly posted it, and I'm sure it would take forever if I kind of scroll through the amino here. But it was a story. Like it was a fiction story that somebody wrote about just the day in the life of like, you know, basically speaking as the character in the game. You know? I was completely kind of taken back from it. I really wish I could
We get a few
figure
of
out what
those.
his name was. Yeah, because it was part of a competition. It was part of like the story competition.
Okay.
Damn man, I really wish I could, because I have to give the guy props. It was very well written.
Let me see if I can find that story competition. Maybe we can hit some names. Not the mashup one, right?
No.
No. Not the curator names.
Nope, not
Is it
that
the
one. No.
It's not the Save Easter. It's not the Show Me the Funny, which I have been loving. That
The budding-
comics. That's been
Oh
really
yes.
good. If anybody's
Yes.
watching this and has access to Amino, or even if you don't, download Amino and go check out No Man's Sky on Amino, because there's now a featured post with comics, which might be my favorite from the week, just because you get everybody's input on it. But I don't want to do too much Amino, but I like to give a shout out to that, because
Man, I really
that's
wish
been
I could
really
fit.
good. I don't know, man.
I can't.
Is it Merc Stories from Alex Ignis? Chapter 2.
It might have been. Let me see. Hold on. Let's see. This one says competition. So for those budding writers amongst us, the stories in No Man's Sky feel flat.
No luck,
Yeah,
huh?
man, this is good. This is but no luck, man. That's a shame.
I think one of my favorite writers right now is Alex. He's been doing a pretty good job. So I'm gonna Alex Ignis. He's been doing a series, Merc Stories, which has been pretty good.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to check that. Oh,
So it's
let me
worth
see.
that's
Let me
worth
find
checking
it.
out. I'm just gonna do a real quick
Nice.
check
Yeah,
here.
yeah. I'm gonna get that loaded up so I can. It's probably what I'm gonna hop into right after we end this.
Yeah, that's where I'm
Yeah,
headed
the
next.
amino. I mean, it's blows Reddit out of the water in my opinion. You know, I still go to Reddit on a daily basis. I still check out the hub scene there, but in terms of creativity and just the place to go to really see how passionate people are about the game, Amino's the way to go. Definitely.
Yeah, it's been really good, and yeah, Boyd has been doing pretty good stuff too. I have to give him a shout out because he's always impressing me with his builds. Boyd Gaming, which you're
Boyd
Boondock
Gaming.
so you guys have something in common. You're both engineering with gaming. But take a check and give him a like, because his stuff has been inspirational. One of his builds got me to build that Ferris wheel at my base, and because he does these very elaborate bases. He has one hits the water. It's got a pool. It's really sweet. It's the only base I've seen that has a pool. So,
oh, there we go. I found him. There we go.
Yeah.
Okay. Boyd's gaming. Like he has this gaming arena. Like, wow. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I see what you're talking about now.
Yeah, it's good stuff. It's good stuff.
Very nice.
All right, so I guess this is it, man. We talked about your journey. We discussed the ups and downs of the travel to the Galactic Hub.
Yeah, future No Man's Sky updates.
Future No Man's Sky
can't come soon enough.
Oh, I hear you. I'm pretty much all out. I'm done. All my prep has been used up.
Yeah, I'm. We're ready, man. We're ready. This was a successful stream.
Oh, here you got Dark Quasar. Just said, and he's not. I gotta remember that he's not Dark Quasar on the Amino. He's Repti.
Oh, what?
And he does post.
Repti? Oh, I've seen.
Post a lot of pictures. A lot of pictures.
Okay,
of,
I have seen him.
And
right.
I have to agree. You do post pictures and keep them coming because honestly, those become my desktops. Not just yours, but I do snag desktop backgrounds off of there. Reptilian Freak, to be exact. You're absolutely
yes. Okay, that's what I was just gonna say. Is it Repti or Reptilian Freak? Okay,
well,
I found him. So
if you see him in people will call him
yep.
Repti. Yeah, and he's already in there for me too. And yeah, they are some
nice
really good
pictures.
Stuff.
Really nice pictures. Really nice pictures.
Yep. So I'm gonna call it. I think we've had a good conversation. It's already running over an hour, and
I know, yeah, over the time limit, but that's all right, man. You know, time flies when you're having a good time. I'm okay with it.
People watch it, and I hope you enjoyed being on the Traveler's Digest.
Dude, anytime, man. You want me back, just say the word. It's been
Absolutely.
fun, man. I appreciate it.
Actually, I might call on you, and I know this is not No Man's Sky related, but I might call on you for some Destiny help, because
of course.
I just got that game. I swear, I just got it at Christmas, and I just unwrapped it 3 days ago because, you know, Dad. And
you are in for a treat. I'm sure you already know.
Yeah. So
I can absolutely, man. Just let me know. Yeah.
All right. Sweet. So that's probably what I'm gonna ask you to do next, and then once you get a little more traveling done with the Galactic Hub, maybe we'll have a follow-up and see what's next for you.
Oh yeah. Yep.
All right.
Sounds good, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Thank you very much, and everybody. I'm gonna put links to all of his videos in the show notes after this. I'm gonna put links to the Reddit information about the Galactic Hub travel. I'm gonna put links in there for the Pilgram Star app. Gonna do it all up. We're gonna have all different kinds of links in there. So come on back.
I'll probably throw a link to your channel in my description too. Why not?
I'd really appreciate that. And,
oh, it's not a problem at all, man.
Yep. And as we're not trying to get subscriptions and stuff like that from the Amino, we're just trying to add to the conversation.
Nope.
I'm not going to do the whole
yep.
plug thing, but what I do want people to know is that the like button and the dislike button are very important tools for people like Boondock and myself. Be honest with it. If you liked it, if you had a good time, if you got some entertainment value, tell us.
Constructive criticism is always welcome.
Tell us with the thumbs up. If you didn't like it, tell us with the thumbs down, because that tells us we don't need to make that kind of content anymore. So if this is a good idea, if you want to see more Traveler's Digest, more conversations with people that play No Man's Sky, just let me know. Give it the thumbs up. Maybe leave a comment, and have an amazing day. So thank you very much, Boondock. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on, man. You have a good night. Thank you, everybody.
Stay on chat for me.
Oh, well.
Yeah. All right, Steve. This is the end of my broadcast.